Once incredibly brilliant avian colors beautifully filled these vast North American forests that now stand completely silent forever. A beautiful, remarkably loud, and undeniably vibrant Carolina parakeet voice once echoed across these majestic eastern woodlands daily. Its extraordinary, breathtaking physical beauty once seemed absolutely timeless and entirely impossible for the natural world to lose. For countless long generations, the highly social bird species thrived beautifully throughout the eastern North American wilderness, peacefully. These vast, untouched, ancient forests once enthusiastically welcomed their incredibly bright, undeniably magnificent visual presence absolutely everywhere naturally. Absolutely no early environmental warning ever revealed exactly how incredibly quickly everything would tragically change for the birds. Their lush woodland world always felt wonderfully permanent, incredibly safe, and completely full of beautiful native avian life. The remarkably innocent native parrot species flourished beautifully within a pristine natural land, incredibly rich with seasonal resources. Yet absolute heartbreaking silence was already rapidly approaching from just beyond the rapidly changing American horizon, almost unnoticed. The majestic native eastern forests would incredibly soon tragically lose one of their absolute brightest and loudest voices. Very few early American naturalists could ever truly imagine such breathtaking, widespread avian beauty would actually disappear forever. The quiet, terrifying beginning of the absolute end arrived almost entirely unnoticed by the rapidly expanding American nation. A sudden, devastating, and entirely permanent ecological extinction story was quietly beginning deep within the beautiful southern woodlands. Its heartbreaking final chapter would eventually become a powerful, lasting, and deeply tragic environmental warning for modern humanity. And very soon, the vast North American forest would tragically sing exactly one exceptionally beautiful avian song less. The beautiful Carolina parakeet historically inhabited incredibly vast, ancient deciduous forests stretching across eastern North America entirely peacefully. Their incredibly bright, vibrant colors transform quiet, ordinary woodland landscapes into spectacularly living, breathing, natural paintings every day. Absolutely few other native eastern avian species could ever match their truly extraordinary, completely breathtaking physical visual beauty. This beautifully pristine, undisturbed natural landscape effortlessly offered absolutely everything these highly social birds needed for successful survival. Essential daily food supplies always remain incredibly abundant throughout much of their massive, remarkably widespread historic geographic range. The completely unique parrot species relied heavily upon these thriving old-growth forests for absolutely every single life aspect. Their magnificent, totally untouched world extended beautifully across sprawling river valleys, pristine wetlands, and deeply ancient woodland environments. Incredibly strong, lifelong social bonds intimately connected individual birds together throughout the massively large, highly vocal flock. Their stunning, vibrant visual appearance made them an absolutely unforgettable, deeply mesmerizing part of early American history. The highly energetic species brought incredible, breathtaking color and remarkable movement into the quiet eastern wilderness daily. Their incredibly loud, distinctly raucous voices beautifully became a perfectly natural, familiar part of the woodland atmosphere. This lush, ancient environment remained incredibly rich, completely healthy, and beautifully alive for countless thousands of years. Before human settlement, absolutely everything within this massive, untouched wilderness ecosystem seemed perfectly, flawlessly, and eternally balanced. Countless innocent generations thrived beautifully and successfully within these deeply quiet, magnificently expansive North American forest ecosystems. Their daily peaceful survival depended entirely upon these thriving, perfectly balanced, and highly undisturbed natural woodland ecosystems. These magnificent, sprawling old-growth forests once echoed continuously with beautifully vibrant native avian life and breathtaking color. Their stunning, golden-hued beauty gradually became one of untouched nature's absolute greatest, most profoundly cherished visual treasures. Yet tragically, even the most deeply beautiful, perfectly balanced natural wilderness paradise can absolutely disappear completely unexpectedly. The beautiful Carolina parakeet evolved perfectly to survive within these deeply magnificent, ancient North American deciduous forests successfully. Its incredibly powerful, highly specialized curved beak cracked tough woodland seeds, native fruits, and fibrous plant materials efficiently. Remarkably strong, highly specialized climbing feet allowed the agile bird to navigate complex eastern woodland environments completely flawlessly. Incredible biological agility helped this beautiful species thrive effortlessly among towering cypress trees and dense bottomland forest vegetation. Their breathtakingly colorful, incredibly vibrant plumage easily became one of untouched wild nature's absolutely most remarkable visual displays. Their highly specialized daily diet comfortably supported successful biological survival across deeply diverse, sprawling Eastern American habitat ranges. Remarkable evolutionary adaptability allowed this unique native parrot species to successfully occupy massive geographic territories across North America. Excellent sensory awareness perfectly helped them locate seasonal forest foods and continuously remain intimately connected together completely daily. Incredibly strong, lifelong social flock behavior played an absolutely vital, foundational role regarding their peaceful wilderness survival naturally. Magnificent, highly agile flying skills allowed incredibly efficient, rapid daily travel between distant, deeply forested, seasonal feeding locations. Absolutely every single distinct physical feature deeply reflected a highly successful, exceptionally perfect evolutionary adaptation to forest life. The beautifully innocent species evolved perfectly alongside these massively thriving, ancient woodland ecosystems over countless thousands of years. Their highly organized, incredibly empathetic group behavior dependably provided profound physical comfort and emotional security during difficult weather. Their incredibly remarkable physical adaptations comfortably handled suddenly changing, completely unpredictable, temperate North American weather conditions highly effectively. Ancient nature carefully shaped them into an absolutely spectacular, highly specialized, and deeply fascinating eastern native woodland bird. Their entirely harmless, perfectly peaceful daily lives remain deeply, permanently connected to these remarkably healthy, undisturbed American forests. Absolutely everything about the innocent Carolina parakeet profoundly reflected perfect, deeply unbroken environmental harmony within the ancient wilderness. But tragically, this beautifully flawless, incredibly highly specialized natural evolution could never properly prepare them for humanity's arrival. Daily life revolved almost entirely around finding abundant food, raising families, and navigating the changing North American seasons. The highly social native species spent almost every single waking moment living closely within massively large, noisy flocks. Peaceful feeding frequently occurred collectively throughout the day across vast, untouched eastern woodlands and pristine river valley ecosystems. Their incredibly specialized diet depended heavily upon natural forest resources like tough seeds, wild fruits, and woodland buds. Remarkably, these parrots safely consumed toxic cocklebur seeds that would easily poison almost any other wild woodland animal. Movement between seasonal feeding grounds remained a highly predictable, constant routine for these incredibly energetic, vibrant green birds. Extremely loud, constant vocal calls helped maintain beautifully strong, daily connections across the entire scattered forest canopy flock. During the warmest afternoon hours, peaceful groups often rested quietly together, high within the dense, leafy woodland foliage. Healthy, vibrant wetland ecosystems easily supported absolutely every single life stage for this beautifully unique native avian species. Fresh, clean water sources remained absolutely essential for their daily survival across the sprawling, southeastern North American wilderness. Their remarkable physical beauty became a deeply defining, unforgettable part of the historic early American forest landscape everywhere. Seasonal movements naturally followed shifting food availability and rapidly changing environmental conditions across the vast Eastern American continent. Unlike tropical parrots, these incredibly hardy birds successfully endured notoriously harsh, freezing winter weather completely without migrating southward. Their keen sensory awareness focused entirely upon strengthening community bonds rather than anticipating any deadly external predator danger. Springtime breeding seasons successfully introduced vulnerable new generations into the deeply protective, highly communal, and carefully attentive flock. The magnificent birds nested together communally inside large hollow tree cavities found within mature ancient eastern cypress swamps. Inside these dark wooden hollows, dedicated parents carefully protected their completely helpless, fragile, and blind downy young hatchlings. Attentive parental care consistently supported the successful biological development of their beautiful offspring over many passing growing months. Curious juveniles slowly learn vital survival skills through constant observation and daily social interaction with older mature birds. These young parakeets displayed mostly green feathers with small brownish-orange patches before successfully reaching full adult plumage. Together, the massive flocks moved elegantly through the sky, creating beautiful, circuitous flight patterns above the ancient trees. Cooperation consistently strengthened their overall chances of peaceful survival against natural elements within the deep, wild American wilderness. Diverse native food sources successfully maintain incredibly healthy, stable populations across numerous eastern states for countless unbroken centuries. Breathtaking color and raucous sound beautifully filled the ancient forests wherever these magnificent native birds safely gathered daily. The innocent species played a highly important ecological role, dispersing native seeds throughout the pristine eastern woodland ecosystem. Their beautiful, peaceful lives comfortably followed the steady, predictable, and deeply comforting natural rhythms of the changing forest. Countless avian generations repeated these gentle daily behaviors successfully, assuming their beautiful world would remain completely peaceful forever. But their incredibly tight social bonds and absolute lack of fear would soon become completely fatal biological weaknesses. The magnificent ancient eastern forests that successfully sustained them began changing much faster than they could possibly adapt. Essential daily food sources completely disappeared as the majestic North American wilderness became increasingly fragmented and utterly destroyed. Their beautifully innocent daily survival depended entirely upon perfectly stable, mature woodland habitats that were steadily disappearing forever. Once seamlessly connected, native avian populations suddenly became increasingly divided, deeply confused, and completely vulnerable against unfamiliar threats. Finding essential seasonal woodland resources required significantly greater physical effort and much longer travel with every passing year. Constant, devastating environmental destruction slowly weakened population stability, leaving the brilliantly colored species completely unprepared for rapid changes. Safe, massive hollow tree cavities desperately needed for successful communal breeding became increasingly rare across the shrinking landscape. Aggressive, invasive European honeybees rapidly colonized remaining wooden cavities, completely denying the vulnerable birds their absolutely essential homes. The incredibly highly social species suffered tremendously when their beautiful, noisy flocks suddenly became too scattered for survival. Multiple devastating ecological pressures abruptly combined into an incredibly dangerous decline that the peaceful species could never overcome. Unlike gradual natural extinctions, their ancient DNA reveals an absolutely abrupt, completely catastrophic collapse caused entirely by humans. The beautifully innocent species tragically faced sudden, devastating modern challenges it was absolutely never biologically designed to overcome. Massive 19th century human expansion rapidly and completely transformed the beautiful, undisturbed American wilderness into something entirely unrecognizable forever. Relentless 19th century deforestation rapidly destroyed the vast, ancient bottomland forests that had always safely protected the magnificent birds. Sprawling agricultural farms quickly replaced their beautifully lush, wild habitats, forcing hungry parakeets toward newly planted human crops. Desperate for daily food, the colorful birds visited fruit orchards, tragically becoming despised agricultural pests to angry farmers. Armed agriculturalists aggressively defended their growing harvests by ruthlessly shooting the completely innocent, deeply misunderstood native green parrots. Whenever a single bird was shot, the deeply loyal flock immediately circled back out of deep emotional sympathy. This beautiful, highly empathetic social behavior tragically allowed ruthless hunters to easily destroy entire vibrant flocks completely instantly. Victorian fashion crazes created massive demand for their striking, brilliant feathers, intensifying the incredibly relentless commercial hunting absolutely. Thousands of magnificent birds died simply to decorate wealthy women's hats during this devastating, terribly unregulated historical era. Many other birds were captured alive and sold quickly into the lonely, highly restrictive early American pet trade. Imported European honeybees swarmed into hollow tree cavities, aggressively stealing the parakeets' absolutely essential, ancient nesting homes forever. Without these vital woodland sanctuaries, the deeply stressed native bird species simply could not successfully reproduce and survive. Their historically massive geographic range collapsed rapidly from east to west beneath this sudden, organized human destruction constantly. Vibrant flocks vanished entirely from northern valleys, retreating desperately toward the remaining remote, deeply isolated southern Florida swamps. The abrupt, catastrophic population collapse happened so incredibly fast that naturalists barely recorded their devastating final historical days. Once dominating the eastern skies, the absolutely magnificent native parrots became hauntingly rare across the dying American wilderness. Modern genetic testing ultimately proves their tragic extinction was not a slow natural decline, but direct human eradication. America's only native eastern parrot slowly approached absolute extinction as the rapidly expanding nation carelessly pushed endlessly forward. The incredibly vast, sprawling eastern American forests tragically no longer sounded the beautifully vibrant way they had. Each passing year unfortunately brought significantly fewer magnificent avian voices into the rapidly fading eastern wilderness environment. Those familiar woodland places, once beautifully full of vibrant native life, slowly became completely and hauntingly empty. Absolute isolation quickly replaced the wonderful, comforting safety previously provided by their massively large, highly social flocks. The magnificent avian species continued disappearing rapidly and entirely from their highly familiar, ancient eastern forest landscapes. Finding surviving flock companions became increasingly difficult across the terribly fragmented, completely silent, heavily destroyed American wilderness. The beautifully vibrant movement of countless magnificent birds slowly faded away into an absolute, deeply tragic stillness. The familiar ancient forest environment was rapidly changing forever, becoming an entirely hostile place for innocent survival. Beautiful future generations that absolutely should have successfully followed simply never arrived to populate the lonely woodlands. Only a tiny, frightened handful miraculously remained safely where countless thousands once lived happily during American history. The dark, ominous future unfortunately offered absolutely no viable biological path toward any successful, meaningful avian recovery. Even the surrounding natural environment itself seemed to quietly mourn their deeply tragic, entirely permanent physical disappearance. An incredibly heavy, absolutely profound silence spread quickly across their historically massive former North American geographic range. The completely innocent, breathtakingly colorful native species rapidly approached its absolute final, terribly heartbreaking historical biological chapter. Absolutely few busy people ever truly noticed exactly how incredibly close absolute avian extinction had suddenly become. Its magnificently beautiful, completely harmless evolutionary story neared an absolutely irreversible, deeply devastating ending within the wilderness. The magnificent North American forest was rapidly losing one of its absolute brightest and most beloved colors. Each incredibly quiet, tragic departure left the increasingly fragile wilderness environment significantly quieter and noticeably emptier forever. The historically abundant, remarkably beautiful native avian species slipped away entirely, almost completely unnoticed by the world. Very soon, only fading, heartbreaking memories would remain behind to document their incredibly vibrant past earthly existence. A deeply beautiful, entirely irrecoverable historical chapter of American wild nature was closing completely and absolutely forever. The beautifully raucous, incredibly loud native songs that once filled these ancient woods were fading into nothingness. The tragic, overwhelming silence eventually became absolutely impossible for concerned naturalists to ignore across the eastern continent. The absolute final, heartbreakingly beautiful physical traces were disappearing rapidly into the dense, uncaring autumn mist forever. Total, irreversible biological extinction had unfortunately already become absolutely inevitable for these magnificently colorful, highly social birds. One by one, they were tragically gone forever, victims of aggressive, uncompromising human expansion and environmental destruction. The vast American wilderness forever lost an incredibly beautiful, highly unique avian voice it would never hear again. And America's absolutely most beautiful native parrot species disappeared completely and entirely forever into silent historical memory. The beautiful eastern forests survived those tragic early decades, but an incredibly vibrant presence was missing absolutely forever. A deeply magnificent, profoundly colorful avian legacy vanished from the ancient American landscape completely, leaving behind haunting silence. Only tiny scattered physical fragments remain safely behind to truly tell their incredibly devastating, heartbreaking historical extinction story. The vast, peaceful wilderness unfortunately lost one of its absolute brightest, most highly unique, and undeniably beloved voices. Today, modern humanity only knows these magnificent native birds, mostly through beautiful antique drawings and faded historical records. Their breathtaking physical beauty survives merely through quiet remembrance inside carefully preserved, deeply silent global natural history museums. Modern genetic testing unfortunately reveals that any successful future biological resurrection remains currently entirely impossible for the species. The absolute final captive bird perished completely alone during 1918, tragically sharing the passenger pigeon's exact fate. Their devastating story continuously serves as an incredibly powerful, deeply permanent warning regarding aggressive human expansion and destruction. We carelessly erased America's only native eastern parrot species completely forever without ever truly understanding its absolute value. The beautifully peaceful, perfectly harmless green bird became a tragic victim of rapid, entirely unregulated early modern progress. Deeply heartbreaking, entirely permanent ecological losses like this magnificent parrot species can absolutely never be successfully reversed today. The beautiful Carolina Parakeet's final song ended silently, leaving an incredibly haunting, unforgettable environmental legacy for us forever.